Hi Kiwi, alright, we are back at, I almost said Hades, Pokemon Shining Pearl. How are you today? I am doing honestly fantastic. I have some very exciting news that I was not expecting.
Gah, you're just a little kid. How are you supposed to beat a big man like me?
That is not the really exciting news. Okay, so this is going to date the episode a little bit, but Nintendo, about 40 minutes ago, just out of nowhere on a random Tuesday morning, dropped a trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles Cross Definitive Edition getting ported to the Switch, and I am elated. I am so excited. So I think it's no surprise given that episode, well, our starter's name being a direct reference to Xenoblade 2, and the and that whole clip from Xenoblade 2 that I had a couple episodes ago. I'm a Xenoblade fan. Granted, I think Xenoblade 1 is still my favorite. I think Xenoblade 2 has a lot going for it, and Xenoblade 3 also had a lot going for it, but nothing really scratched Xenoblade 1's itch the way that Xenoblade 1 does. Xenoblade Cross is interesting because it's kind of an outlier to the series. It was, I would say it was much more exploration focused, and it doesn't necessarily have a direct tie to the main story of those other three games. At least on the surface value. There's apparently some DLC in Xenoblade 2 that does kind of have them cross over a little bit, and certainly there have been trailers and little nods. It's not entirely an outlier, but Xenoblade Cross always felt like it was kind of this own thing. I think they're just trying to tie it in together a little bit more now that they've decided, okay, you know what, we're going to take the whole Xeno universe and start crossing it over. I'm not going to say anything more about that because it's kind of spoilers for where Xenoblade 3 went, but for those in the know, and granted, I wasn't really in the know, I got to see everyone else who was in the know get so excited about it. But like, the Xenoblade series is kind of a love-hate relationship for me overall. I think there are so many things that I think back very fondly of, but there are definitely some genuine frustrations at those games sometimes, especially if I die against an enemy. Sometimes it doesn't always feel like that death was earned. Other times it certainly was earned, but less so that, more so just the severe penalty of the backtracking sometimes required to compensate for those deaths. But I digress. Overall, it is one of my favorite franchises out there, and certainly it has some of my favorite music ever.
I'm a grown-up, but I got served by some little kid.
Point being, out of nowhere, like no one could have predicted this, Nintendo's just like, hey, you want some Xenoblade 2? And we're all just, yes, or what did I say to? Xenoblade Cross, and we're just, yes, because here's the thing, the devs outright said it would be so hard to port that to the Switch. This karate man will pulverize you. Because, I mean, for context, Kiwi, I think you already know, the Xenoblade games individually are behemoth worlds. They are, I mean, well, they're on the backs of titans, literally, but they are huge, expansive worlds. But there is no game that emphasizes how huge the worlds are quite like Xenoblade Cross. And I've said this many a time, Xenoblade 1 I consider has the best story. Xenoblade 2, the best character stories. Xenoblade 3, well, we'll talk about Xenoblade 3 in a second. Xenoblade Cross is the best exploration the game has ever seen. The worlds are beautiful, expansive, well put together, amazing and fun to explore, especially after you unlock kind of this mech suit that you can use to travel around in. That's when the game really opens up and just the world becomes yours. And I mean, I told you, Kiwi, there is a core memory of mine in video games where I just sincerely remember just entering this one area. It has this big precipice that you cannot see past. You're walking on this beach, you walk through this big, for context people that are aware of the game, Sylvalum is where I'm going to lead into this conversation, but you're walking through this big stony precipice, you can't see through it just yet. The music is kind of this slow kind of drum beat with a little bit of rhythm in the background, but it's very subtle. And then as I cross this precipice, the music just swells, and it wasn't because of anything coded into the game, it was just, I timed it so perfectly well. But you cross this precipice, the music swells, and you see this beautiful aurora-filled, kind of cloudly fungal, almost very fungal looking world, and it is just one of those moments where, I still lack power. It's one of those moments where, like, video games as an art truly shine as an art in my memory, where you have, like, the audio, visual, and, well, I mean, mechanical wasn't really that much, but the audio-visual majesty of what video games can and will provide sometimes. And it's stuck with me to this day. I still go back and listen to the theme of Sylvalum Night. Specifically, that was the song I was playing, Sylvalum Night with an Aurora, which had a rare chance of showing up. It was just, I don't usually look at a video game for its graphics and say, wow, this game will live on in my memories because of how it looks. But Xenoblade Cross had looks, sound, and just the feeling of a new exploration, finding a new location. There is little in my memory that can top that moment.
If I meet you, will you share some food with me?
But that said, I would still not necessarily consider Xenoblade Cross my favorite game in the series. But at the same time, I look at my Wii U play history and I have like 10 to 15 hours clocked in that game multiple days in a row because it was Christmas break when I was a kid and I didn't have any self-restraint back then. And it's just, I realized that I am extremely excited for this announcement. Apparently it's going to be released on the 20th of March, I think, 2025. So that's pretty soon. And we were not expecting this. Like I was saying, it is basically a single-player open-world MMO in a lot of ways. And it is a huge, expansive game with, oh my goodness, so both Xenoblade 1 and 2, and a little bit of 3 as well, have the Collectopedia, which is basically the areas have all these different little items, collectibles that you can add. And it's just, the Collectopedia in Xenoblade Cross is a gargantuan task. It is ridiculously packed with things to collect. And I'm not looking forward to having to do that again, but at the same time I really am, because my goodness, that completionist mentality is unhealthy and ingrained in my soul. But oh, Kiwi, I am so excited. And well, you know what really excites me? So Xenoblade Cross was not without its issues. Like, I mean, it's got a slow start until you get your mech. What did
we were starved for food, now we're starved for a win.
I mean, I'd still share my food with you. You want some berries, man? Like, I understand. You could probably just kind of walk to town instead of standing there, but I digress. So Xenoblade Cross did have some issues. There's always a little bit of jank. When you unlock your mech, especially before it can fly, you can cheese a lot of the supposedly ingrained barriers that should prevent your progress. Like, I got access to a lot of places as soon as I got that mech, because you can really, even if you can't fly, the mech can jump, and it can jump good. It can jump real good. And my goodness, I got access to so many locations that I probably wasn't supposed to, because I found a way to, like, kind of just barely latch the mech's hitbox onto the side of a cliff and then get enough of a foothold to jump again, even though it probably shouldn't have worked that way. All right, we're about to find our new Pokemon for the team. Let's see, who is our first encounter of Route 208? It's a Machop. Do I already have a Machop? I feel like I caught one earlier. I just don't know if it's a species clause sort of Machop. We do have it. It has a little Pokeball symbol in front of it. I think we caught a Machop in the old route. So I'm gonna play on that theory. We'll switch in Manny the Dude Buster and just bust this dude, and then hopefully find something that isn't a Machop. It is unfortunate that I have to keep switching out Celestabetha, because she doesn't do enough damage, and she gets one shot, or she gets two shot by pretty much everything that these enemies can offer from an attack perspective. It's kind of disappointing, to say the least. Anyway, where was I? So the issues with Xenoblade 2, or Xenoblade Cross, I think the biggest, the funny thing is I call it Xenoblade Cross because I think it did come out before Xenoblade 2 proper, which is why my brain is just like, yeah, this is Xenoblade 2. I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong. Anyway, there's a Nopon character in there that not many people like. I honestly didn't personally find him that annoying, but I do think they kind of hammered him in a little too hard to keep a running gag going about how one of the main characters wants to eat him. You're gonna see that if I play this on the channel, you'll see that that joke does not die. It just keeps happening at the start of every single chapter. Wow, not even a single step and we get another wild encounter, and it's another Bidoof. I may just end up taking the Machop because I don't really have a lot of options, I guess. I think Celestabetha can handle Bidoof, though. Anyway, so where was I going with this conversation? The point being, so the Nopon characters are in Xenoblade can always be kind of hit or miss. They're a little bit, they're very clearly intended to be kind of mascot characters, but they can be very abrasive in their in the way they're written and their personalities and their voicing sometimes too. Not always, but yeah, they can be divisive to say the least. And then we have the other big issue. The ending felt incomplete. It ends on a cliffhanger, and we never thought we were ever going to see a sequel to this game. But, and this is why another reason why I'm so excited, the trailer that Nintendo dropped for this game, at the very end, after they show the release date, they play a very brief clip of that cliffhanger ending. They're going to address an ending that we never thought we were going to see an end to. Well, we think that. There's no guarantee, right? I'm going to just fight this spinner and then we'll find our wild Pokemon.
Oh, you want to have a battle? I was meaning to enter a super contest show, but beating you won't take long.
But yeah, they might finally address a cliffhanger that just never got resolved. And I'm just Kiwi. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Like, I think I've said this before, but Xenoblade music is one of Xenoblade has some of my favorite soundtracks out of any game ever. I believe, was it Yuki? No, it's not Yuki Kajira. It's Yoko Kanno, I believe. Anything Yoko Kanno touches. No, I don't think that's it either. Yuki Kajira and Yoko Kanno are two Japanese music producers or music directors that I absolutely just love. Pretty much everything they produce. But I'm totally blanking on the name. But this is the same person who did like the several pieces of music, including Dearly Beloved from Kingdom Hearts. They've had their hands in Final Fantasy games. Basically, if there is a JRPG soundtrack that you are fond of, she has likely had some influence on them. And now I believe she reprises her role. But here's the thing: Hiroyuki Sawano is. Like, even if you don't know the name, you know his music if you've watched anime. He is the guy that has these big build-up kind of songs, and then out of nowhere there's usually some English. There's some pretty heavy English, but if you need a man to make a hype track, he is your dude. And you know who makes the soundtrack for Xenoblade Cross? Not only the composer, sorry, composer was the word I wanted to say, not director or producer, composer. Not only do we have the person who's worked on the soundtracks from Xenoblade 1 and 2 and 3 presumably, we have Hiroyuki Sawano in this game. And like, I have so many songs from Xenoblade Cross that I just listen to and enjoy and will listen to again and enjoy. And oh man, Kiwi, I am so excited. But like, the reason why I'm going on this little music tangent about the game is I heard they were playing one of my favorite songs. Okay, Metatite. I don't think we've caught one yet. We had kind of a risky situation with it in the past. We'll catch this Metatite, and this will be a new member of the team, because we're using the species clause. Oh, we already have one? Well, I know for a fact we don't have one that is, like, usable. So, let us go ahead and switch out to Manny TDB, because we're basically just depending on the tankiness of Manny TDB for everything at this point. He's the only Pokemon, unless he faces a Grass-type Pokemon, that I think can tank pretty much any single hit. Even when he has a little chip damage on him. In fact, we'll probably use a recover here. Anyway, okay, a crit. Okay, that's fine. It just crit. Force Palm, I think, has a higher chance of critting. I'd rather not risk the second crit. Even if it's a low chance, it's still the same chance it was to crit the first time. We'll just Super Potion here. It's fine. Anyway, where was I? So, like, the reason why I'm so excited about the music specifically is, like, I think I've mentioned this game, Pokemon Pearl and Diamond, specifically, not necessarily the remakes. I have listened to their soundtrack while doing work, while doing any number of tasks, as kind of like I'm going to zen out and relax and help focus a little bit on my work without like having the beautiful, more intense music distract me, more lyric music distract me. The Xenoblade series is like, I would honestly say Pokemon is second to Xenoblade in terms of that function, in terms of that purpose. I listen to Xenoblade music so often, so very, very often, as like an excuse to kind of relax and help me focus on music or focus on work, but also helping me kind of calm down in a scenario. And I love when I can find soundtracks that have like a backing of, say, thunderstorm and rain sounds, and that is pervasive through both the Pokemon and Xenoblade kind of OSTs uploaded to YouTube. So when I heard this song that I have heard when I'm like stressed and just trying to come out of it, start playing in that trailer, I genuinely started to tear up, because not only do I have this song that has an emotional value to me, I have a game being announced that has emotional value to me. So, needless to say, this has been like a 16-minute ramble, but I am so very, very excited, very happy. I don't know if it's a good game to play on the channel, because if you think Pokemon is slow, I am gonna take forever to get through Xenoblade if I play it on this channel. But, oh right, I forgot about Marshmallow Toes. Now I remember we had a Metatite and we named it Marshmallow Toes. Well, alright, well, what's the opposite of marshmallow? Probably rock candy. And what's the opposite of toes? Fingies. So, let's go rock. Candy. Rock candy fingy. Will that fit? It will not. Rock candy fin. Nah. Let's... Wait, I can get rid of the Y. Rock candy fing. Rock candy fing. There we go. Good enough. Alright, and Rock Candy Fing is actually usable. That's exciting. We actually have a new member that I can just sacrifice for evolution fodder. Although I do think Metacham was a member of my old team back in Gen 4, when I was playing casually, mind you. Definitely did not use Ponyta. I like Ponyta and I like Rapidash, but they never impressed much upon me, I suppose. I didn't have any fire types on my team for that matter, just because there really weren't any fire types in Gen 4 to talk about. At least until you got the national decks. Alright, does anyone need healing before I risk them? No, okay, we're good. Alright, what voice are you?
You and I, let us create a scene, a fantastic tableau of battle.
I cannot do a French accent. I wasn't even really trying to do a French accent. I wasn't even really trying to do a French accent. I can't say even accent. If I told you that my intent was to kind of like go in with a Luigi voice and it just became that instead, would you believe me? Because I believe me, and it's not a great look. Mime Jr. is a baby Pokemon. It probably can't hurt us, but I'm still afraid because Ponyta's defenses are just, let's just say a little tad, a degree of lackluster. I'm trying to think. So I kind of alluded to the fact that I may not be the most enamored with Xenoblade 3, and I want to kind of nix that impression. I still genuinely love Xenoblade 3. There were some things that I had so much fun with about that game. I think the combat might be the best in that game, personally speaking. Maybe so. Like I was saying, Xenoblade 1 best story, Xenoblade 2 best character arcs, Xenoblade Cross best exploration. Xenoblade 3 I often kind of laud as it doesn't necessarily do anything perfectly or the best of the series, but it does a little bit of everything very well. It's kind of the all-rounder, jack of all trades, master of none sort of presentation, I would say, is how I've always looked at it. But then again, I do hold that I think I don't know, actually, maybe I like Xenoblade 2's combat a little bit better, but I objectively think that Xenoblade 3 has the best combat. Although, and now I think on it more, Xenoblade Cross had the most customization to its combat form, I would say. Well, that's not necessarily true either, because Xenoblade 3 allows you to kind of have different classes and switch between character classes and kind of tailor your team of fighters to have different effects. And because it's running on the Switch's hardware, you actually get all of your team members to kind of be participatory in the fight, whereas in Xenoblade 1, 2, and Cross, you can only have like 3 people on the field at once. I doubt that's going to change for the remake, but it would be really cool if you could have larger parties. I feel like it would mess with the game's balancing though, so it's probably not going to happen. Do I want agility? No, I don't think my Rapidash needs agility when we're using Flame Charge.
Magnificent! I am aglow with inspiration.
I don't think that was the voice I used before, but that's fine. His was kind of an improv on the last second sort of voice. Who are you with this random house in the wild? Berry Master's house. Free berries available? Heck yeah. Trainer tips. After a berry is planted, watch the color of the soil. If the soil is dark, it means it has plenty of moisture. If the soil is lighter in color, spray it with your spray duck. Nanam berries. Okay. Those are banana berries. But they look like pears on the plant. Not gonna lie. Anyway, while I'm picking these berries, where else can I go with this conversation? So Xenoblade 3 had some extremely high points, especially if you've played the game, you know, the end of Chapter 5, that narrative is probably one of the strongest, like, singular narrative beats I've had in any Xenoblade game. I think there are certainly moments in Xenoblade that I go back and think on, but when I think about the story of Xenoblade, each individual game's story, I think the most and have the most memories of really good high points in Xenoblade 1 consistently. Whereas Xenoblade 2, sometimes I find some of the character interactions really annoying. And Xenoblade Cross, like there are some high points. There's like a big plot twist sort of thing in the middle of the game, which I thought was really cool. And some of the cinematics, especially the cutscene when you're storming the enemy base, is so hype. It's just so really hype. Anyway,
would you like some berries? They're all plump and ripe.
Oh, you sell them. I didn't know you could. Okay, cool.
Please come again. Are you the forgetful type who loses track of where berries are planted?
Yes.
Yes, I thought so. I'm the same way. The town map shows you where there are ripe berries that are ready to be picked.
That's really cool. Hopefully it shows you where the berry plots themselves are too. That would be amazing for Kiwi. Kiwi had a berry route. She would like every day plant and water and pick her berries, and it took a lot of time when we were playing Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, or whatever order of those titles it was.
Everyone seems to call me the Berry Master. I hand out berries daily because I want people to learn how wonderful they are. You're deserving of one.
I got a tomato berry. Excellent. All right, Kiwi, are you a tomato or a tomato person? I definitely say tomato. I don't know why I called it tomato, but I guess maybe because I'm pronouncing it the way I think it would be pronounced in the Japanese origin. Oh my goodness, so many female voices today.
If you say Heart Home City, I can only say this. Super contest shows. I'm going to enter my darling Pokemon in them.
I'm just going different pitches of nasally, and it's kind of working, honestly. Heart Home City is a great place. Every year it gets voted the most desirable place to live in Sinnoh. Cool. I'm gonna hit a potion on that Ponyta. Unfortunately, Manny, the Dude Buster, is running out of PP, which means we've been depending on him maybe a little too hard. So if I see an option to switch out to a different one of our Pokemon that won't eat Ponyta or Celestabetha, I certainly will. I get vibes that we're gonna run into Quint sometime soon, but we have made it to Heart Home City, which is very exciting. I'm just gonna take a quick peek, see what's down here, though. Did you see them kind of like waddling in place there for a second? That was weird.
I've given my Pokemon lots of poffins. I'm confident that we'll win our share of Super Contest shows.
I traveled a long way to take part in these Super Contest shows.
Okay, so forgive me for this, but I feel like the way I've been narrating every like TV segment, I have to kind of do this voice here.
The Super Contest shows are interesting, but the ruins of Salacian Town are as well.
Okay.
As a cameraman, it makes me happy to see all the Pokemon involved in Super Contest shows.
I feel like it would be funny if, canonically speaking, the reporter just had that nasal, that like holding my nose kind of voice. Oh, is this Baniri gonna show us the Oh yeah, okay. The Baniri had a human attached.
Oh, thank goodness that you happened to be there. If it wasn't for you, who knows how far away my Baniri could have run. Baby Baniri, come back into your Pokeball, or back into your Pokeball you go. I'm Kira. I'm a Super Contest show judge. Please drop by the contest hall so I can thank you properly.
Yeah, I literally did nothing, ma'am. Your Baniri was walking in a linear path and I stood in its way. Alright. Well, we have made it to Heart Home. Why don't we do a little bit of exploring and then we'll call it a day. I've gushed enough about Xenoblade, but I'm going to continue to gush it. It's just, I don't think I'll have much time to interject Xenoblade gushing with character dialogue here. You're a trainer, aren't you? You've got two choices of challenges, either the gym or a Super Contest show, right?
1, 2, step. 1, 2, flip. And turn.
I don't know. I'm just like, the thing about these like one-off characters, oh, that's cool. They give you a little panning shot of, oh, I see Fantana, or I think her name is Fontana in the background, that very purple looking person in the background. Our home city, warm and kind. It sounds like a pleasant place to live. The music is also pleasant and also, as always, nostalgic. What's this hiker gang doing here?
Hi. Do you want a Pokemon egg? They found this at the Pokemon nursery in Solaceon Town. Want to take it?
Technically, this would be our first encounter of Hard Home City. I do want it.
Hold up, you don't seem to have enough room for the egg.
I don't know what's in that egg, actually.
I hear they found eggs in the Johto region, too.
I think there's someone here. Yeah, there is. You're kidding, they found an egg at the Pokemon nursery in Solaceon Town? Yes. Yes, they did. All right, well, I'm kind of really curious about this egg. I'm visiting here all the way from Hoenn region. I had been hoping to find the contest hall, but being new, I lost my way. Fortunately, the local people very kindly led me to my destination. Sorry, hiccup burp at the same time. Unfortunate. Fortunately, the local people very kindly led me to my destination. I was impressed by their kindness and generosity to a complete stranger. Now may I offer you the courtesy of showing you to the contest hall? Well, sure, why not? Please follow me. Oh good, we're just gonna slowly walk there. I would have been faster just walking on my own, my man. That's a fancy looking building to our left, at least. Oh my goodness, this is painfully slow. Okay, turns out the aggressively purple lady was our metric for finding this contest hall anyway. This is the contest hall. Please do go inside. All right, nope. See you later, dude. I think what we're gonna do is let's bench one of our Mons. I think temporarily. So again, this won't count as my PC use because I'm only putting a Pokemon in, I'm not taking one out, which would count as a healing effect on it. So I'll have to sort through this PC off camera and like put the Pokemon that are not actually party friends away. Because we've definitely caught some wild ones that are not on our team. Anyway, let's see. The Pine Tree is super over leveled, although I kind of want to keep him as the linchpin of our team. I think let's briefly bench the Doof. The Doof can have a comeback, but I want to see what's in this egg and if it's something fun worth using, you know? All right, while we're in here, why don't we talk to some people?
Have you seen the globe at the GWS in Jubilife City? It's so awesomely awesome. I can't really explain it well, but it's downright wicked. Hello, do you have a Poffin case? If you haven't got one, you really must visit the Pokemon fan club.
I am just belting out new voices left and right here. Some of these might stick.
They're saying the gym leader's Fantina.
Oh, it's Fantina. I went with Fontana. I was close.
They're saying that gym leader Fantina's not around. She must have heard I'm around and chicken out.
Something tells me, kid, that is not the case. I'm gonna pop my head upstairs and see if there are any hidden trainers up here while we're at it. I like this town dialogue. It's simple, it has like no bearing whatsoever on the game. But flavor text is flavor text, and if that flavor is sweet, I enjoy that saccharine vibe. Let's go ahead and collect our egg. Now, Ponyta, actually now that I think about it, does Ponyta have like flame body or something of that nature? I don't think she did. Or he did? He did. Let's see, your ability is run away. It ensures that I can run away. Literally a useless ability because I cannot run away in this challenge. I have made it a rule that you cannot run from any battle. Which is why we've lost some of our Pokemon to wild Pokemon, unfortunately. All right, sir, give me that egg, please. Please, please, give me that egg.
Here you go. Or here you go.
The egg has been added to your party.
This is what I heard about eggs. If you take that egg and travel with energetic Pokemon, it'll hatch. I remember someone announced that. Professor Elm of Johto, maybe?
All right. Well, that's exciting. We've got ourselves an egg. Let's just wedge it between the warmest looking Pokemon on our team, which will be Celestabetha. And sure, Pine Tree is a bird. Birds lay eggs and usually warm them up. I don't actually know if it's wedged between a non-flame body Pokemon, if it actually affects the rate at which it hatches. But that's fine. The Pokemon Fan Club, all trainers are welcome. All Alright, in typical fashion, the fan club is run by some random old man. That's fine. It's chock full of Pokemon books and photo collections.
Welcome. Welcome to the Pokemon Fan Club. Oh, you're Celesta Betha? It's feeling neutral towards you. It's up to you to change that.
Hello, how do I say? Hello, how I say do you do? I am the Pokemon Fan Club Chairman, indeed, yes I am. When you wish to treat your Pokemon to a treat, what do I say?
What?
When you wish to treat your Pokemon to a treat, what I say you do? If I may say so, I will feed Poffins to my Pokemon. And why I say would I do that? Because the giving of Poffins is a way to...
I'm losing my voice on this one. Ugh.
Because the giving of Poffins is a way of expressing your love. For example, if I were to give a sweet Poffin, the Pokemon eating it would become more cute. For example, a spicy Poffin will add to the coolness of a Pokemon.
I can't read these lines, I am sorry.
In such ways, I say that Poffins have nothing but goodness for Pokemon. Therefore, I declare this Poffin case to be a gift from me to you.
Alright, thanks, random old man. Well, not random old man, but you know. You obtain the Poffin case. You put the Poffin case in your bag's key items pocket.
I urge you to fill it with Poffins and be generous in dispensing them to your Pokemon.
Alright, thanks, old dude. I don't know how much I'm going to engage with the contests in this. I'll probably at least get one win of each master contest if I can. If this is how I remember it, there are usually 4 contest centers, and each one is a higher tier, and you can only enter the higher tier if you've won the previous one, and you can only enter it with the Pokemon that won that previous one. Baniri and does Psyduck have anything to say? Goa Gwa. I always find it amusing when the devs decide to like type out the sound effects that they program the Pokemon to have in game. But with all that said, Kiwi, thanks for listening to me get really, really excited about Xenoblade Cross. I genuinely am, and I'm so looking forward to playing that game, even if it's just in my own time. It probably won't see this channel unless I have some like highlight reels. I definitely am thinking about maybe doing like a highlight reel sort of like footage video every now and again. It probably wouldn't be more than like a once a week or that might be generous. Probably more like a once a month sort of endeavor as I learn how to do that sort of content. But who knows? Who knows? With all that said, Kiwi, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're asleep, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye!